Good afternoon. It's Friday. It's Friday. Peter is asleep. Judas has betrayed him. Mary is crying. All hope is lost. Death has won. Satan is laughing. Jesus is buried. A soldier stands guard. A rock is rolled into place. It's Friday. But Sunday's coming. Happy Good Friday, everyone. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I'm, of course, Lindsay Beckham, here live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios in Flora, Mississippi. We are also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I hope everyone is enjoying this beautiful Good Friday afternoon. I hope that you all have plans to spend some time with family, to rest, and to remember what the Easter holiday is all about. Hope is not lost. He lives. And thank goodness that he does, because it would be a very, very sad, hopeless life if not for our Savior, our Lord and Savior, who defeated death so that we could have a chance to live. Of course, y'all know me and the mama bear that lives inside of me. Don't mess with my baby. So I can't imagine anything harder than watching your child suffer. I can't imagine how horrific that must have been for Mary to watch her human son suffer the way that Jesus did. But she knew. She knew there was much more to the plan. So I'm sure our legislators over at the state capitol are excited that they will get to be home for Easter. I mean, they get to go home on the weekends anyway, but they did gavel out of session this morning. Now, earlier in the week, they passed something that would extend the session through April 15th should they need more time, and so they could be called back. But the way that both chambers left the Capitol this morning, it seems as though they have finished up their work for this legislative session. There have definitely been talks about special sessions being called for several different reasons. Of course, we've heard it said that there could be a special session to deal with school choice, education freedom. I know our governor has mentioned that several times. Something that we did not see happen during this legislative session that I think was a big point of contention was the PBM reform, the pharmacy benefit managers, and how much independent pharmacies are being reimbursed. I saw our speaker put out a statement on social media last week, basically asking Governor Reeves to call a special session so that that issue can be dealt with. There was a bill that came out of the House dealing with PBM reform that went over to the Senate. was amended, a filling fee was added, and they could not come to an agreement on that, both sides of the chambers, and so we didn't see anything come out dealing with that at the end of the day. So there are several different pieces of legislation that did finally happen. There was a teacher pay raise across the board, a $2,000 teacher pay raise for teachers, K through 12 teachers and teachers assistants. I believe $4,000 for our special needs teachers, and then $5,000 for our truancy officers, our school resource office. I'll have to go back and look at that to be sure, but that did finally was something that both sides did agree on and that they did get passed. I think there were a lot of different bills early on in session that dealt with the retirement system and PERS, that they made a few changes to Tier 5 that they implemented last legislative session. They came back and removed some of the things that they did in the last session. So, few things coming out of this legislative session, not as many as I know a lot of people were hopeful for. One thing that I did not get to talk about yesterday that I had kind of planned on talking about yesterday was Autism Awareness Day. Many of you know I have a 9-year-old son who is on the spectrum, has been diagnosed with autism. But there's an article that was in the Huffington Post years ago, and it really makes a whole lot of sense to me. A lot of people read the headline and they won't understand it, but I think when you live with a special needs child, it's something that you can relate to. And so this was written March 29th, 2017, but it's something that I've saved and that I continue to look at. Let's start honoring people with autism by stopping the celebration of autism. World Autism Day hits me like a ton of bricks every year. As the mother of a child with autism, there isn't another day I loathe like April 2nd. Autism Speaks proudly proclaims on their website every year, autism organizations around the world celebrate the day with unique fundraising and awareness raising events. How will you celebrate? Awareness is one thing, but I recoil at the assumption that my son and I will be celebrating the immense suffering he has endured since autism came into our lives. Each year, I mark the day by cringing as I drive past blue porch lights and pulling my blinds closed as neighborhood kids hop off the school bus in blue shirts. I know one thing for sure. The celebratory tone of April 2nd directly contrasts with the reality of day-to-day life for many with autism. It doesn't feel like a day that supports my son and those like him. It feels like a kick in the face. A small sliver of the autism spectrum works happily in Silicon Valley, comfortable in their own skin, able to overcome their challenges and function successfully in the world. Some have genius IQs and special talents. They celebrate their abilities. I celebrate them too. Those at this end of the autism spectrum, however, are not reflective of the entire autism community by any stretch of the imagination. At the opposite end of the autism spectrum, parents who are diapering their teenagers. Distressed children are literally banging their heads against walls. Parents are cleaning feces from furniture, carpet, and fingernails daily. Families are trying to function Despite extreme sleep deprivation, hypervigilant parents are turning their backs for a second and losing their beloved children to drowning. I have a real beef with the notion of celebrating autism when 22% of children with autism develop epilepsy, 70% experience gastrointestinal problems. In a recent study in The Lancet, two-thirds of adults with Asperger's syndrome, now part of the autism spectrum, reported considering suicide. 35% had made specific plans or an attempt. Another study showed children with autism were 3 times more likely than their typically developing siblings to be bullied. Children with developmental disabilities have a substantial increased risk of becoming victims of sexual abuse. Which of these grim statistics are we called to celebrate? The subtype of autism that is acknowledged April 2nd is quirky, brilliant, and content, but that isn't the reality of autism for a large portion of the autism spectrum, and it isn't a reality for my son. In fact, it isn't even a reality by formal diagnostic standards. Autism is defined by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, characterized by deficits and impairments. Deficits must be present in the areas of social communication and social interaction across all contexts. Furthermore, individuals must show evidence of restricted repetitive patterns of behavior, interest, or activities. Quirky individuals don't meet criteria for an autism spectrum diagnosis. The DSM 5 is clear that a diagnosis of autism strictly requires symptoms that limit and impair everyday functioning. Looking line by line through the DSM, one is hard pressed to find anything to celebrate. Nowhere in the DSM is autism defined by any savant like abilities and talents, nor a unique way of looking at the world. Though individuals with autism certainly have unique positive attributes just like anyone else, autism itself is formally defined by deficits and impairment alone. The false constructs celebrated on World Autism Day are stereotypes that apply to only a small fraction of the autism community. Meanwhile, the experiences of a large portion of the autism spectrum are ignored and marginalized. Those with autism deserve better than to have their challenges invalidated by celebration and their unique abilities and talents as individual human beings trivialized under the umbrella of autism. So I know a lot of organizations and groups honor and recognize World Autism Day, but I agree with this mom completely. It's nothing to celebrate. I think by honoring World Autism Day, it should remind us that we should be doing more to understand why there has been this drastic increase. What factors are contributing to that? What environmental factors are contributing to this huge rise that we've seen? Looking at certain parts of the country, it is so prevalent. I think we are 1 in 13 males in California now. Overall, 1 in 31 children across America are now diagnosed with autism. Forget celebrating it. I say we find out exactly what's causing the rise in these numbers and we put an end to it. Awareness is one thing, but I'm not going to celebrate something that has hurt my baby and that I see him have to struggle day after day because of. If anything, it just lights an even bigger fire in me to continue to speak out on things that I know contribute to the rise in these numbers. The things that I saw firsthand happen in our experience. And to keep pushing for more research. You want us to trust the science? Well, you actually have to do the studies. You actually have to show us the science. They actually have to be done in order for anyone to be able to trust it. I know in our personal experience, I saw a change, an immediate change. A light went out, regression immediately. So I advocate for more vaccine studies when it comes to the children's schedule. Do the studies, do the double-blind placebo studies on these children's vaccines that have never been done. Let's figure out why this is happening, and let's change it. We gotta take a break. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here, WIB 1039, on this Good Friday here on The Lindsay Beckham Show. On this Good Friday here on The Lindsay Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Right here in our backyard, sellers trust Purple Wave Auction to move their equipment, from excavators and ag equipment to trucks and specialty trailers. Our no-reserve online auctions help local sellers turn iron into opportunity. You get a dedicated territory manager who knows your operation, your market, and your timeline, backed by nationwide buyer demand, local service, national reach, real results. See why more sellers choose Purple Wave. Visit purplewave.com to get started today.
Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wazlowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
Upgrade your yard this season with Hometown Hardware and Grasshopper. Hometown Hardware in Flora is now a proud Grasshopper mower dealer. Own a Grasshopper, own Mow Day. Hometown Hardware also has a great selection of outdoor power equipment from trusted names like Steel and Milwaukee, as well as Hustler. And don't forget, Hometown Hardware is your garden soil, potting mix, fertilizer, and pine straw headquarters. Hometown Hardware on Highway 49 in Flora.
The IMAX at Malco Grandview Cinema offers moviegoers a truly immersive cinematic experience, a way to enjoy movies like never before. You're not just watching, you're a part of the action with IMAX technology at Malco Grandview Cinema in Madison. And now, relax and recline in luxury at Malco. The magic of the movies is even better with reclining seats at Malco Grandview Cinema in Madison and Renaissance Cinema Grill in Ridgeland. For more information and tickets, visit malco.com. We'll see you at the movies.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
I'm on a diet. I don't want to be down there at Tom's Fried Pies. We had a good time. When I tell you the crust was flaky, I'm talking about buttery. This was nothing like I've ever tasted. Ever. I mean, I've never tasted anything like that, man. It was nice. Atmosphere was nice. Everybody there was nice. Because I'll be back, even though I don't supposed to with my diet. I really enjoyed myself.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Tom'sFriedPies.com.
Come together.
Welcome back to the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I am, of course, Lindsay Beckham. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Of course, you can always find us at wyab.com, where you can stream the audio version of the live shows. And then on your radio, 1039. We now have 50,000 watts throwing that signal out as far as it could possibly go. I don't know exactly what all that means, but they tell me it means a lot of people can hear us. So you can always find us there. There are opportunities to sponsor if you are looking to get the name of your business out there, starting a new business, or just need to see a pickup in your business. I'm telling you, WIB has the most loyal listeners. You can ask Morgan, who's here on Tuesdays with Women's Wellness. She has people calling all the time that have heard about men's health and women's wellness right here on WIB. Of course, we have the Clay Edwards Show every morning from 7 to 9, on Mondays from 7 to 10, followed by, let me forget Chip. Chip's on at 6 a.m., Chip and Dawn, followed by Clay from 7 to 9. And then we have a new show. Let me make sure I get it right. Coming in on Tuesdays at 9, General Bob, where he is selling and wheeling and dealing. So y'all check that out. Wednesday and Thursday, Mike Madison is on from 9 to 10. Then, as Clay likes to call him, All Gosser, No Breaks, the Andrew Gosser Show from 10 to 12, who comes on right before yours truly, the Lindsay Beckham Show from 12 to 1. And then we have some national shows, Dana Lesh, and then the one and only Mr. Kim Wade, Radio Strongman, who rounds out the day here at WIAB from 4 to 6. I got to produce his show yesterday. I'll be back this afternoon to produce for him. It's always so much fun to be in the studio with Kim. He keeps me laughing. He is one of a kind. And then Sean, as Kim likes, what does Kim call him? Yerk the Turk. I don't know. I don't even know. He and Kim pick on each other so much. I'm in a group text with the two of them, and they just go so hard at each other. But Sean, starting his own show this Saturday. I don't know if he announced that when he filled in for me earlier in the week or not, but he will have his own show right here on WIB Saturday mornings at 11, where he's going to talk about all of your legal questions and probably all the true crime cases that I make him listen to. I haven't been following one very closely here lately. I'm gonna have to find one. Have to find one to get into. I went home and went to bed early last night. I think there was a lot going on around here in central Mississippi. One of my favorite US senators was in town, Senator Kennedy. He is just one of my heroes over there in the swamp in DC. I get so tickled listening to him and the responses that he gives. He stood up for us on the vaccine issue, on the explicit obscene content in school library issue. He's just been a huge advocate for kids and parental rights. So he's most definitely one of my favorites. He was here for a Cindy Had Smith fundraiser last night. I hate that I did not get to go. Also, I believe there was a fundraiser for Shad White, our state auditor, who looks as though he will be running for governor. He has not officially announced, but I think he's made it pretty clear that is his intention. And then, not to be confused with those two political events, there was Afro Man at Martin's downtown. So I am sure that he brought quite the show. I have not heard the lemon pie song, but or lemon pound cake, but I hear it's quite entertaining. So he just won that huge court case after the cops came into his home and thought they were going to find a bunch of things that they did not find. And so he took the footage and used it to create new music and new music videos. Quite entertaining. I know Clay has a long time friendship with good old Afro Man. But we did not attend. We did not attend the Afro Man concert. I'm sure it was packed. Those poor people over at Martin's, that those employees haven't gotten a break here lately. First they got St. Patty's Day parade, and then not even a week later they got Afro Man. I bet they've had a busy, long week. But we are grateful to Martin's. They are sponsors of WIB, so thankful for them and for everyone who advertises with us. We could not stay on air if it were not for our incredible sponsors and advertisers. So if you know of anyone who you think could benefit from joining us here at WIAB and coming on as a sponsor, info@wyab.com, or you can email me directly. It's lindsay@wyab.com. And like Jameson Haygood says, you got to get the name right for me to get the email. So it's LINDSEY, Lindsay with an E at wyab.com. And I can most definitely help get you more information and plugged in. And you will just see your business skyrocket. Unlike the spaceship that they say went to the moon. Because we all know that didn't really happen. You know, how funny is it that they want to send a spaceship to the moon on April Fool's Day? Come on, God, y'all, it's right in your faces. They're laughing at you if you truly believe we went to the moon. And by the way, these astronauts are not even landing on the moon. They're just going to orbit it. You know why? Because it hasn't been done. I will always say that I do not believe we have been to the moon. Many disagree with me. That's my opinion. It's hard to trust the government on a lot of things these days, on anything these days. Once you know some things that you just can't unknow, makes that trust quite difficult. We got to take another break. When we get back, I'm going to go through the list of the small percentage of bills that were not killed and that actually did make it out of this legislative session. Not a whole lot. I was excited about a few things, and we'll talk about those when we get back right here. WIAB 1039, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay tuned. WIAB 1039, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
.1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
CBS News special report. U.S. officials say one pilot has been rescued after the shoot-down of what Iran claimed was an F-15 fighter jet. CBS's Charlie Daggett says Iranian media have been showing pictures for hours.
Iranian state broadcaster aired footage, what they said was wreckage of a downed jet, and that wreckage was found in central Iran. In fact, one of the images appears to show an ejection seat.
The F-15 can carry a crew of 2, but it's not clear yet as to whether there was a second crew member aboard the jet. CBS News national security analyst Aaron McLean says fighter pilots are well trained for the possibility that they might wind up behind enemy lines.
Their training is to escape and evade. Their job is to stay away from the bad guys long enough that the rescuers can get to them. And the human terrain down there, are you dealing with people who are friendly to the regime, or are you dealing with people hostile to the regime? That's obviously a factor, but kind of hard to know in advance because you don't know exactly who it is you're going to meet down there.
CBS News special report. I'm Peter King.
Huddle up, wing lovers, and double your count for less on Wing Tuesdays at Buffalo Wild Wings. When you buy one order of traditional wings, get one for 50% off. No time to dine? Order for delivery and wing it up with a crew at home. Or pick up takeout when you're on the go. Limit one per order, not valid with any other offers. Additional terms and conditions apply. Huddle up for Wing Tuesday at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Since 2012, Brentech Solutions has been keeping Central Mississippi businesses connected and protected. From secure data backup and cloud services with Synology to reliable network design and maintenance, servers, and business Wi-Fi, Brentech truly does it all. Brentech is your Ring Pro partner and smart home automation solutions provider. Brentech can handle Microsoft 365 support and even Starlink. Visit brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. IT solutions that work.
Efficient and trouble-free payroll processing is crucial to a business's success, and a lot of businesses are struggling with it. PeopleLease, a local payroll provider, not only offers top-of-the-line software, but also provides on-demand payroll support services. With PeopleLease, you're never on your own at every step of your payroll process. PeopleLease has the expertise in managing payroll challenges and will work hard to understand your business and employees. That's what makes PeopleLease the perfect choice for you and your business. Learn more online at peoplelease.com.
Have you thought about the cost of long-term care? In Mississippi, a home health aide can cost over $57,000 a year, and a private nursing home room can exceed $109,000 annually. Hi, my name is Cressley Pierce at Pierce Professional Agency. Long-term care insurance may help protect your savings and give you more options and peace of mind as you age. Learn how planning ahead could save you money and stress. Find me, Cressley Pierce, online today at MadisonPlans.com. That's MadisonPlans.com.
At Bank of Yazoo, we believe that common sense makes for better banking. That's why we've taken our array of checking accounts and simplified them for you, boiling down features and benefits to create our New You, Achieve You, Benefit You, and Protect You checking accounts. Ready to discover how simple is better? Talk with us today. Bank of Yazoo, Bank of You. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Come together.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, also WYAB.com, and of course, 1039 on your FM radio. 601-879-0002 is the number if you would like to call in to the show today. We also have a text line, 601-879-4648. I was reading through some of the comments in the live stream during the break, and my friend Kara was on. Hey, Kara. I haven't seen you in so long, and we need to get together. But one thing Kara had asked is, do you think the rise in the number of autism diagnoses is due to just now knowing more about neurodivergent issues and being able to identify those? And I think that could have caused a slight rise, Kara. I do. I think, we've learned so much more about autism and how to look for children who could be showing some of those traits. But I also think when we are now looking at 1 in 31 children across the country, 1 in 12 males in certain parts of the country, I think that speaks volumes. I think that's definitely a way bigger rise in numbers than just now being more observant. I think obviously there were years ago children who just seemed a little different, and maybe they were called quirky or odd or socially awkward. And maybe today those would be on the spectrum or considered a part of the spectrum. But with the numbers, I think even the way they are, I think that speaks volumes. When we look at California, who has no religious exemption when it comes to vaccines, they have the strictest vaccine laws across the country. So it makes sense to me, and it coincides. Of course, they have larger numbers in autism when they are vaccinating earlier and giving more in one visit, because those parents are forced to follow this CDC schedule. Thankfully, we have an administration in Health and Human Services with Secretary Kennedy who really wants to find out why, who really wants to remove unnecessary vaccines and put these study committees together. Stop giving Hep B at birth, because we know babies aren't born using dirty drug needles or having unprotected sex. We have a call coming in. Hey there, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey.
Now, about the vaccines, the infant vaccines, I'm not a doctor, but I am a scientist. And the mercury that's given in the vaccines to infants is 200 times more than is allowable for a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
And they call it thimerosal.
Mm-hmm.
I've argued with pediatricians that claim that this is a safe kind of mercury. And as a scientist, I know that you cannot change an element. Mercury is mercury is mercury,
Mm-hmm.
be it radioactive or stable, whatever. It is still mercury. And
Yeah,
that's all I have for you.
well, it's that way with the aluminum too. Now they say it's a different type of aluminum, but the max dose of aluminum allowable for an adult in a period of time, what they give in one visit with childhood vaccines is 4 or 5 times that. And that's what the CDC list as the limits. Yet, of course, I mean, like you're talking about, they say, well, this type of aluminum is different. And I just call BS on it all.
That's voodoo.
Yeah.
They're not being truthful with you.
No, they're not.
And the babies are often jaundiced at birth because their liver is just starting to work. And years ago, they would put a jaundiced baby next to a window, and the good old sunshine
Right.
will correct things within a day, typically,
Yeah.
or 2 days, and the baby is not jaundiced anymore because they're converting the vitamin D and their liver's starting to work.
Exactly.
But they don't get to charge for putting the baby by the window.
Ding, 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 ding. Bullseye. Follow the money and you find the corruption every time.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll let you get back to the radio. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your call.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, exactly. There are just so many things that are being given now to infants and at such an early stage of life before their little bodies are even able to remove the toxins for their liver to actually be able to do its job. Like he was saying, their livers are just starting to work. And I'm sorry, but when you are increasing the number of vaccines so drastically in such a short amount of time, you know, from 5 or 6, 40, 30 years ago to 72 vaccines today. And with this increase in vaccines, we're seeing such a drastic increase in rates of children being diagnosed with autism. I'm sorry, but there's a correlation. There is a link somewhere. And I don't really care who disagrees with me, because when you're a mom who sees it happen in front of her own 2 eyes, who takes a baby, who smiles, who sleeps through the night, who makes eye contact, who's happy, and within minutes of receiving 18-month shots, they're screaming, not sleeping, beating their head on every hard surface they can find, spinning in circles, pulling at their extremities, miserable, not making eye contact, not smiling anymore, light just completely shut off in their eyes. When you see it happen within minutes, you can't tell me that's not what did it. I watched it. So for anyone to say, don't listen to those crazy conspiracy theorists, vaccines are safe and effective, those are fighting words. Those are fighting words around me, because I know what I saw. It's like telling somebody they can't believe their lying eyes. I watched it. It happened in front of me. You can't make this up. It's video documented. And that was before AI. So when that's happened to enough mamas and daddies, can't lie about it anymore. My youngest, who is not vaccinated, healthiest far, by far. And hopefully none of my kids are listening, but he's also smarter. I mean, he just is. He picked up a book when he was 3 and started reading it to me, and I have no idea how he learned how to read. No clue. And really sounding out words. He's already reading at the same grade level or higher than his older siblings. It's evident. Parents know. Parents who've been there know. And there's nothing anyone can say or do to change our minds on what we saw happen. I don't believe that vaccines are the only cause. I definitely think that we have environmental toxins. I think there's stuff in the air today. I think there's stuff they spray on our food. I think there's hormones that are injected into cows and chickens that then we consume. I think there are food dyes. I think there's a ton of things. And we can't wrap ourselves up in bubbles. I get it. But I'm all for eliminating as many of these toxins as we possibly can in order to make our children healthier. They deserve it. They deserve it, and they deserve for us to fight for it. Speak out on behalf of the voiceless. Goodness knows I've never had a problem speaking out about things. This mouth runs a lot when it probably shouldn't. But on that note, we got to take our last break for the day. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap things up here on this Good Friday on The Lindsay Beckham Show.
Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
Delicious food and a relaxing atmosphere combine to make the best place for sports fans and foodie fans to watch the game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mod. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson.
Need care at home, fast, reliable, and on your schedule? Introducing Home Care to Go, your on-demand concierge care solution. Whether it's personal care, companionship, or short-term support, Home Care to Go brings professional care directly to you when you need it most. Getting started is easy. Visit us at homecare-togo.com to explore available care packages. Home Care to Go, care at your door when you need it most.
Ken here with Rapid Oil Change, your fast service and fleet maintenance headquarters for over 40 years. With parts in stock to fit most makes and models, we can perform routine maintenance in a matter of minutes, keeping downtime to a minimum. With brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Lucas, and Rain-X, it's easy to see why Rapid Oil Change has been the go-to for fast service with a smile for over 40 years. Don't forget our 24/7 touchless car wash. We accept most national and local fleets. We're Mississippi's leader for fast service with a smile. Visit one of our 6 locations today, oilchangems.com.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. It has been so great to be with all of you on this beautiful Good Friday afternoon. Again, I hope that you all have plans to spend Easter with your family and the ones that you love the most and celebrate the hope that we have in life today. I can't imagine living through tragedy and the hard times without having that hope for a tomorrow that for me can only come through a relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am so very grateful for his sacrifice of his life. And again, my heart just it thinks of Mary, the mama who had to watch her baby suffer. I cannot imagine being in her shoes. It must have been the most helpless feeling. So I hope that everyone remembers the reason for Easter and has an incredible holiday with your families. I will be back here this afternoon producing the Kim Wade Show with him. So it's always a fun time. Y'all tune in from 4 to 6. And then I'll see you guys Monday here on the Lindsay Beckham Show. Same time, same place. Bye.